Good afternoon. My name is Julie Lyon. I'm the assistant to the superintendent in the Lakeview School District. On behalf of the administration, school board, and teaching staff, it gives me great pleasure to be part of this special Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We could not be more pleased with the outstanding candidates that have been chosen to represent the class of 2020 to be enshrined this afternoon. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Nancy Keeling, chairperson to the Lakeview Alumni Hall of Fame Committee.
Our first inductee is Dr. Mary Ann Craig. Mary Ann Craig was a 1965 graduate of the Lakeview High School. Dr. Craig received her Doctorate of Music Education and Master of Music Education degrees from Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana. She is a 1969 graduate of Baldwin Wallace Conservatory. Dr. Craig taught for 8 years in the Seneca Valley Schools in Western Pennsylvania and for 1 year at Wollongong Conservatorium of Music and Goulburn College of Advanced Education in Australia. After teaching for several years at the College of St. Rose in Albany, New York, she accepted the position of Director of Bands at Montclair State University in New Jersey. Dr. Craig is Professor Emerita and retired Director of Bands at Montclair State University in New Jersey. The Montclair State University Symphonic Band more than tripled in size during the 10 years that Dr. Craig was Director of Bands at the university. She is past president of the International Tuba Euphonium Association, an organization of 2,000 members from over 40 countries. As a conductor, Dr. Craig has conducted the leading professional, military, and conservatory concert bands in Russia, Ukraine, and Hungary. Dr. Craig has been interviewed for radio and television broadcasts of the People's National Radio of Russia and the British Broadcasting Company. She was awarded the title of Honored Professor of Moscow State University of Culture and Arts in 2003 and had the rare opportunity to present both conducting and low brass master classes at the famed St. Petersburg Conservatory in Russia. As a euphonium soloist and low brass clinician, Dr. Craig has appeared throughout the United States, Japan, Europe, Australia, and Canada. She has released 2 solo euphonium recordings, Out on a Limb and Mary Ann Craig Euphonium, as well as a CD with her Colonial Tuba Quartet. In 1970, Dr. Craig became the first euphonium player to be awarded the coveted Performer Certificate from Indiana University. She is featured in the International Tuba Euphonium Association Journal, the fall of 2020, and in Anne Gray's book, Women in Classical Music. In 2006, Dr. Craig was the first female invited to serve as a guest conductor of the Pennsylvania Intercollegiate Band Festival in the festival's 59-year history. She served as the New Jersey State Chair for the College Band Directors National Association and the National Association of College Wind and Percussion Instructors. Dr. Craig has served on the board of directors of the International Women's Brass Conference and as a chair for the Society of Music Teacher Education, Eastern Division. In 2009, Dr. Craig retired and moved back to her native Western Pennsylvania, where she became very involved with the Pittsburgh Symphony Association, serving as president of the Pittsburgh Symphony Association. She continues to serve on the board in various positions. In 2012, Dr. Craig was awarded the Baldwin Wallace University Conservatory of Music Outstanding Alumna Achievement Recipient of the Year. Most recently, she chaired a Pittsburgh citywide project to raise $200,000 for a new Steinway Concert Grand for the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. When she was in high school, her father told her, "If you ever become well known, don't say that you're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but always say that you are from Sandy Lake, Pennsylvania." I have never forgotten that, and when she is asked during her international tours, she always replies, "Sandy Lake, Pennsylvania." She wouldn't trade where she grew up for anything.
Hello, students, faculty, administration, and staff of Lakeview Schools. A special thank you to Dr. Henley Hogue, Mrs. Nancy Keeling, and the members of the selection committee. As a musician and educator, performances and orchestral conducting opportunities have taken me around the world, from as far away as Australia, to Russia, including Siberia, to Japan, and most of the countries in Europe. But the most meaningful honor is to be invited to return to Lakeview High School and my hometown of Sandy Lake. I'm grateful to Lakeview Schools for the foundation that I was given. From Gilmore Elementary School to Craig Elementary School and then to Lakeview High School. Not only were there excellent teachers in the classroom, but many went well above and beyond what was required in the classroom. Mr. Fisher, Mr. Neil Fisher, who was the instrumental music teacher, started me on my instrument right after second grade. So the summer after second grade, I began to play the baritone horn. When I was in ninth grade, I won first chair in a very competitive honors band that took place at Carnegie Tech in Pittsburgh. And Mr. Fisher would drive me back and forth to rehearsals when there was no Interstate 79. It would take about 2.5 hours to get there. Rehearsals would be about 7 hours, and then to drive back home and do that for several weekends in a row. And because he took the steps to provide opportunities for his students beyond the walls of Lakeview High School, I realized early on that music is my passion and thus set the path for my career. Teachers can be such a powerful influence in our lives as Mr. Fisher was in mine. And students, I have 3 bits of advice for you. Strive to do your best. It is easier to be better than someone else than it is to be the best that you can be. Listen to that again. It's easier to be better than someone else than it is to be the best that you can be. Second, hard work and determination go a long way toward achieving success. Third, take advantage of opportunities. Don't be afraid. And finally, I'm honored and humbled to accept this prestigious award, and I do so with tremendous gratitude. While I am the person receiving this award, the groundwork was laid early on from the support I received from my family, the nurturing from my hometown, and the foundation I received in Lakeview Schools. For being inducted into the Lakeview High School Alumni Hall of Fame, I will be forever grateful. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Mr. Paul C. Doyle. Mr. Doyle was a member of the last class of Stoneboro High School, graduating as the 1954 salutatorian. During his years at Stoneboro High School, he played varsity basketball and won the Mercer County Voice of Democracy contest. He was the head lifeguard at the Stoneboro Lake during the summers. Mr. Doyle attended Bucknell University on an academic scholarship and then transferred to the University of Florida to be closer to his family. He went on to graduate from the University of Tampa in 1958. Mr. Doyle furthered his education at Harvard Law School, where he graduated in 1961. The prestigious Jacksonville law firm of Jennings, Watts, Clark, and Hamilton is where Mr. Doyle started his career in public service. He became a partner in this firm in 1967. Paul Doyle is known for consistently improving the justice system in Florida, where he advocated for the poor and the disadvantaged. He led the staff of the Florida Bar Foundation in advocating for the justice of the poor. When he retired in June of 2009, the Florida Legal Services building in Tallahassee was renamed the Paul Doyle Justice Center for his dedication to public service. He married Shirley Foster in 1957, and they have 2 daughters, Amy and Lori Ann.
Good afternoon, students, teachers, and staff at Lakeview High School. Greetings from Jacksonville, Florida. I want to thank the Lakeview School District for my admission to the Hall of Fame. I was born in Stoneboro on February 15, 1936, and was the last class to graduate from Stoneboro High School in 1954. We were fortunate to have students from Jackson Center and the Fairview areas. I was proud to be from Stoneboro and to be a Cardinal basketball player during my 4 years in Stoneboro High. Unfortunately, we missed the opportunity to get those students from Sandy Lake and New Lebanon areas. However, in 1956, while in college and lifeguarding at Stoneboro Lake in the summer, I met the love of my life, Shirley Foster, who was in the first graduating class of Lakeview High. Shirley and I are proud parents of 4 daughters, 7 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. Do take advantage of your opportunities at Lakeview. My experience at Stoneboro prepared me for college and Harvard Law School. I had a successful career in private practice for first 5 years, and then a rewarding lifetime 48-year career in public interest and legal services for the poor. I want to thank the Lakeview School for this opportunity.
Our next inductee is Ms. Elaine Wilson. Ms. Elaine Wilson was a 1959 graduate of the Lakeview High School. She graduated from Indiana University of Pennsylvania in 1964 with a degree in art education. She went on to further her education at Pennsylvania State University, earning a master's degree in teaching and curriculum, then Temple University for a certification in supervision and administration. Ms. Wilson is a former art educator, K-12 art supervising administrator, and was honored as a Pennsylvania Outstanding Art Educator. She is the founder and past executive director of the Susquehanna Art Museum in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Elaine has authored and published 18 nonfiction books and is known internationally for her watercolor paintings. In 1988, and then again in 1991, Ms. Wilson coordinated the founding of the first 2 English language private schools in the USSR as an American and is still actively involved in both those schools. She has been a guest lecturer at the American Cultural Center at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. Along with her many professional accomplishments, she is the ruling elder at the Market Square Presbyterian Church. Ms. Wilson now resides in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania.
I'm Elaine Wilson. And I first of all today want to thank the people who selected me for this wonderful recognition. And it's not just the people who poured over the information that was sent to them, but it's the people who did all the other little things. For example, somebody designed and put together this wonderful medal and my little lapel pin with the anchor on it that I love so much. And the plaque is beautiful. So I want to thank all of you for recognizing me, and I want to thank you for the time and effort that you spend into making this day special for me. I have to also thank my art teacher from Lakeview High School. If it were not for Mr. Richards, I think I probably would not have studied art in college. I always enjoyed it, but I never really thought that it would be something I could make a career out of. And he actually hooked me one day in the hall the first week of school, my junior year, and said, "Elaine, you need to be in here." And I said, "No, I need study hall." He said, "No, you need to be in here." I said, "I only have 3 study halls a week." He said, "I can't help that. This is where you're going to be. I'll take care of getting your schedule changed. You're in here." So I was. And I learned a lot about art that I hadn't learned when I just taking the smaller courses that are offered by the semester when we were younger. And then my senior year, when it was time to go to college, Mr. Richards said, I think you should apply at an art school, because I think you'd be good at that." And I talked to my parents about it, and I said, "I don't know a lot about art, so maybe That's a good way to learn. So that's where I did. I went to art school, and I got a degree, and I taught, and I supervised, and since that time I have my work in collections around the world. I have a gallery that represents me on a regular basis. I lecture every week on a different important artist, put together my own PowerPoints and do that. I've never stopped. Art gives me energy. Art gives me joy. Now, for you, what's the lesson? Well, you can't always find a teacher who's going to hook you out of the hall and tell you to change your schedule because they want you in the room. But you're going to find a lot of teachers in your life that are going to give you good ideas for what is or what isn't the right path for you to take. Coming to school is more than just socializing, and it's more than just passing tests. It's a whole combination of everything. It's a microcosm of your world, and it is your job for right now. You want to take it very seriously, and you want to try lots of different things, because the more variety you bring into your life at this point, when there's really no harm, the better the opportunity is that you will make a good decision about a career path for you. The world needs good people. It needs people who believe in what they do, who care. This is a community of caring people that this high school is situated in. This is a community that revolves around the high school. And this high school is not too big, and it's not too small. But it is just fine. And I would like to think that as time goes on and you take a look at the classes that you have and the ones that you're going to take and the teachers that work with you, that you consider very, very carefully all the opportunities that are there for you, just for the asking. Now, when I was in high school, I was a cheerleader. When I was a varsity cheerleader, I got a sweater. I'm still wearing it. I have it on. And there's my varsity letter. And so, why would I not wear my cheerleading sweater to talk to you? Because that really brings me to where you are. My gym locker, my seat in the auditorium, everything. So let me just close by saying thank you. Thank you for making Lakeview good. Thank you for giving me some of your time. Thank you to everybody who has helped my life become so wonderful. And go Sailors.
Our final inductee is our Lakeview Honorary Sailor. Mr. Bernie Davis began his teaching career at the Lakeview High School in the September of 1976. Prior to coming to Lakeview, he was a 1971 graduate of Hopewell High School and a 1975 graduate of Geneva College. He participated in both football and track at both schools. Mr. Davis is known for his loyalty to Lakeview and for putting academic excellence first as a biology teacher. He coached football and track for many years and has become a substitute teacher in the district since his retirement in 2011. Outside of school, Mr. Davis was a member of the Sandy Lake Volunteer Fire Department, Penn State Extension Board, Sandy Lake Wesleyan Church board member and Sunday school teacher, and coach. Mr. Davis and his wife, Chris, are the proud parents of Lakeview graduates, Carrie, Anna, and Sarah. Bernie and Chris have 7 grandchildren.
Well, let me just say thank you to Dr. Hogue and the Hall of Fame Committee. It's quite an honor. I appreciate it. I've only been around here for 44 years teaching, coaching, substitute teaching, and lots of discussions about the Lakeview School District, Lakeview High School in particular. But every one of those discussions seems to end with this statement, but the kids are really good. And if I've heard that once, I've heard it 1,000 times. And that's true. I've only had about 3,500 students, and overall the kids are really good. One of the things I've learned, and it might sound kind of silly, but it's easy to be a good teacher when you have good students. It's easy to be a good coach when you have good athletes. So I want to thank them as well for being the good students and good athletes that they were that I got a chance to work with. Probably the biggest blessing I had as a teacher was having the opportunity to teach my 3 daughters. I had all 3 in 10th grade biology, all 3 in advanced 12th grade biology, and I thought it was a great experience. Now they might differ. In fact, one night we were sitting at the dinner table and one daughter said, "You know, Dad, boys would come around here if it wasn't for you." And I said, that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. And it must have worked out all right. She is now happily married, has 5 children, and a PhD in biology. So, but it was a good experience. I got to see the education they got. I got to know them in a way that most parents don't get a chance to know their children. And they had so many good teachers and so many good opportunities. Each one got an excellent education. Like I said before, I've been substituting for the last 9 or 10 years. I think I've been in every classroom in the middle school and the high school. And one of the things I've seen is there are great things going on in every one of those rooms. I just wish I knew half of those things when I was teaching full time. I'd have been a better teacher for it. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, and this is for you students out there, if you're not getting a good education, guess what? It's your fault. But no, you have great opportunities here. So again, let me just say thank you for this award, and let me say congratulations to the inductees. Thanks.